That man loves me so much. Meghan Markle looks adoringly up at H as they awkwardly walk the red carpet for the Project Healthy Mind Awards, where they picked up yet another undeserved award for Humanitarians of the Year. Now, we all know that awards are a part of Meghan Markle's love language, so her love tank was full. Now, many people have commented on the off and the weird body language of the loved up duo, the Salt and the Peppa, calling it performative activism and forced PDA. Is Harry just going through the motions? Is he done with Meghan Markle? Is this the beginning of the end of the duo of Montecito? You guys, we have a lot of juicy royal daily tea to get through today, so you know what to do. Sit back and relax. Go grab yourself a beverage and let's get into the royal daily tea. Now, before we get into today's story, I wanted to cover some royal news. We had a very rare joint event with King Charles and Prince William. The duo stepped out together to support an event at London's Natural History Museum spotlighting conservation efforts. Now, we know that both of them are lifelong conservationists and they care deeply about protecting the planet. So on October 9th, the father and son stepped out together to support a pre-COP30 evening at the Natural History Museum, which is a key event leading up to next year's 30th United Nations Climate Change Conference in Belém, Brazil. Now, the pair was joined by government leaders, environmental experts, and international delegates to spotlight efforts to tackle climate change and biodiversity loss. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the relationship with Prince William and King Charles after he sat down with Eugene Levy and gave a controversial comment about wanting to modernize the monarchy and how he is planning to make changes. Now, in my personal opinion, there was no controversy. We actually saw father and son walking together. They seemed like they were very happy to be there. They were smiles. They were very supportive. And there was a very cute moment shared between Prince William and King Charles. In my opinion, Prince William looks like a doting son who cares about his father, who is still battling incurable cancer. So here's a moment where William walks over to his father, puts his hand on his father puts his hand on him. You can tell there's a lot of love between father and son. Now, whether there were disagreements or not, that doesn't mean anything. Father and son can have many, many disagreements. You have different generations, they're going to see things differently. Now, there's been rumors of tension behind the scenes. Again, that could be very probable, but at the end of the day, they are father and son, and there's a lot of love and a lot of respect there. So it was really, really nice to see them join up together for this super rare event. Now, on Thursday, the palace announced that Prince William will attend the COP30 World Leaders Summit in Belém, Brazil on November 6th on behalf of King Charles. He will first be in Rio de Janeiro for the Earthshot Prize Awards on November 5th, participating in several environmental related engagements from November 3rd through the 5th before traveling to Belém. So we did get another wonderful and emotional and amazing video from Prince William as he was highlighting World Mental Health Day. And of course, one of his passions is men's mental health, especially around suicide prevention. So he recently released a brand new video where he was hiding back tears, where he was talking to a woman who lost her husband to suicide. And this was a very, very emotional video to watch. I do have the entire 8-minute video on my Twitter channel, and it's going to be on my other channel where I'm going to go more in depth into this situation. But Prince William met with a lady by the name of Rianne Manning, whose husband Paul took his life in 2012, just days after their 1-year-old son George died unexpectedly. Now, can you imagine you lose your son unexpectedly, and then 5 days later, your husband unalives himself, and you have other children that you are now a single mother. So the 8-minute video was released on World Mental Health Day on October 10th, and it captures Prince William's emotional visit with Rian. Now, Rian has since founded a charity supporting families grieving the loss of a child. Now, over tea and Welsh cakes, that was a really cute moment where William was like, "Oh, I want the Welsh cake." He was really a big fan of the cakes. They talked to her about her surviving children, Holly and Isaac, and Prince William asked her, "If Paul was here, what would you ask him? What would you say to him?" And you guys, his reaction was so emotional. He was hiding back tears. Go ahead and watch the clip here.
You okay?
I'm sorry, it's a bit hard to ask you a question.
And
I know.
Hard, and you've experienced loss yourself.
Now, in my opinion, that was such a beautiful moment. And I really like the fact that Prince William is wearing his heart on his sleeve. We're getting to see the real man. He's not doing the British stiff upper lip where you can't cry in public. He's showing people it is okay to have emotion. It is okay to cry. It is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to care, because that is how we get to the root of the problem. And now he's sitting down with this woman being real and vulnerable. This is what people need from the royal family. They want real. They want authentic. They don't want to look at royals behind the plexiglass, waving to them with a white glove, wearing a tiara with a fur coat, driving down the street in a golden carriage. They want the royal family to be real and to do real things to support real people. And that is why Prince William is definitely endearing himself to the people. In my opinion, he is the people's prince. He is going to be a phenomenal king, in my personal opinion. Now, the Royal Foundation, which is led by Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has donated around $1.3 million over an initial 3-year period to help establish the National Suicide Prevention Network. Now, the network brings together charities across the UK to foster better understanding of suicide and how it can be prevented. 4 leading charities, one each from England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, serve as founding partners alongside the Hub of Hope, the UK's largest mental health support directory. The Prince has long been committed to raising awareness about men's mental health and suicide, drawing on his own experiences witnessing the issue firsthand while serving as an air ambulance pilot. This sounds like a great, great program, and I'm so happy that Prince William is tackling this issue that was once taboo. Oh, look, it's our favorite loved up couple, the salt and the pepper, the peanut butter and the jelly, gloom and doom of Montecito, took to New York City, where they were the recipients of yet another undeserved award. Let's all give them a round of applause. Now, many people from the Sussex camp are like, look, Harry and Meghan are having a date night. If you would have seen their body language and their expression, I would say this was not exactly a date night. I would call it Harry didn't want to be there. But guess what, folks? It was already on the books. They announced back in September that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were to receive this award. So they were kind of stuck. They were stuck having to show up for this award and pretend that everything was fine. Now, many people picked up on the body language. It was awkward to say the least. Prince Harry looked like he wanted to be anywhere but there. He was daydreaming about Nacho, hanging out on a beach somewhere, wearing a pair of matching Speedos and smoking a joint. This man did not want to be there, but again, it was already on the books. Now, this comes after Meghan Markle's hideous appearance at Paris Fashion Week, where she looked like she was wearing her top sheet rolled up looking like a roll of toilet paper, where she was there as a guest at Balenciaga. Now, again, the optics of that show didn't look good, with Meghan Markle driving past the tunnel where Princess Diana died in a fatal car crash in 1997. Now, according to Neil Sean, things were not well behind the scenes, that Prince Harry was livid with Meghan Markle in that Paris stunt. So now Meghan Markle was putting on her best performative PDA, where she was pretending that they were the loved up duo of Montecito. Now, there was quite a few instances where she was looking up at H with that adoring rictus grin and that Charles Manson stare, the one that she used to do in the past where she was pretending to adoringly look up at her husband because she loved him so much. It's creepy. It's creepy. So here she is pretending to admire her husband, H. I love you, H. We haven't seen this fake PDA look in a while. So Meghan Markle, in my opinion, was doing major damage control, trying to be like, nothing to see here, folks. Everything's K here, folks. We're good. We're the salt and pepper of Montecito. We're fantastic. Look at us, folks. Look at me grab his hand and force him to hold it because he wants to hold my hand. Harry, hold my hand. Do it, Harry. The cameras are rolling, right? So Meghan was very awkward and weird, forcefully. Again, the claw came out, made another weird appearance. And you could tell Harry was kind of annoyed with Meghan Markle. And he was just like, okay, here's a hand. Jesus, give me a moment. I mean, let the man breathe, Meghan. Let his balls drop. Give him some room. You know what I'm saying? Give him a little room here. But that woman was on top of Harry like white on rice because she wants to make sure we all know they're in love and they're happy and everything is great. But again, I felt like Harry knows the gig is up. Like Harry's done. He's going through the motions. He's waiting for Pa to answer his email, making sure he's getting in with the royals. He's working overtime to get out of jail, working on that get out of jail card, sending that SOS smoke signals to anybody who will listen to it. This man wants out. Again, doing his best Ben Affleck impersonation. In my opinion, Harry's done, but he's kind of just going through the motions. This couple always looks miserable. Again, gloom and doom of Montecito. They are the most unsynced couple I have ever seen. And I've always commented that William and Catherine, every single time we see them together, they look very synced. They actually match each other's body language. They're always doing the same thing at the same time unconsciously because they are a couple who's in it together. Harry and Meghan, they never look like a couple who acts as one. They're always on different paths. Even though William and Catherine have different interests, they have different patronages, when they come together, they are as one. They're in sync. Harry and Meghan always look like one's going left, one's going right. They don't even look like they like each other half the time. Again, the body language was off. It was off. Now, there was a creepy moment on the red carpet that came from Corona Royals where it showed Meghan Markle mask slip because she was not letting Prince Harry out of her sight for one moment. So here we have Prince Harry and her walking on the carpet, and he kind of like ditches her, like, get off of me, like, move. He like mushes her away, and then she turns around to make sure she could see him. And what is he doing? And she makes sure her eyes are zeroed in on Harry. So here he is, he's walking. He's like, okay, Meghan, go, go, go. And then he stops to talk to someone, and Meghan turns around, and she's like, zeroing in with her laser Charles Manson beady eyes, focusing on Harry. She's not letting this man out of her grip, out of her sight for 1 second. Again, Meghan knows that Harry wants to bolt free, so that is why she is doubling down on the viper grip, guys. She is trying to force this man to stay in this marriage. Now, when they got on the stage, there was even more awkward body language. It was like they don't like each other. Meghan's expressions behind Prince Harry when he was giving his speech was so weird. But what was even stranger was when Harry finished his speech, he normally would introduce his wife. Instead, he just kind of steps aside and he's like, Meghan. And you can tell by the daggers that she shot at him, she was not happy at the fact that she just kind of had to step up to the podium after him. Go ahead and watch this clip. Look at the body language. They don't even act like they like each other. You know what they remind me of? They remind me of coworkers who don't like each other, but they're forced to do a presentation for their job. So he gives up his little speech, which was boring and drivel. And believe me, I'm not going to make you sit through it because that would be punishment enough. He gives off a boring speech, which we'll get into in a moment. And then Meghan walks up to the podium and she gives him a death dagger. He doesn't even bother to introduce her. Again, acting like a bunch of coworkers who don't like each other and they just have to do it so they can get their paycheck, and they're like, it's your turn. Doesn't even pass it to her like, my wife, Meghan. He just walks aside. And she walks up to the podium and gives a cringy speech. And I'm not even going to play it for you, but there was a part of her speech that was so cringy because Meghan Markle is not a likable nor relatable person. So she always has to bring in the, I'm a mom, and she always has to tell you about the ages of Archie and Lily, who are 6 and 4. It's like, are you trying to remind us or yourself that you have children and how old they are? It has nothing to do really with the social media platform because 6 and 4-year-olds are not online, but she always brings up her kids, always got to bring up her kids every single time she gives a speech. Go ahead and listen to this cringy moment here.
Archie and Lily are just 6 and 4 years old. Can you believe it? Luckily, still too young for social media, but we know that day is coming. And like so many parents, we think constantly about how to embrace technology's benefits while safeguarding against its dangers. And that hopeful intention of separation is rapidly becoming impossible. In 2023, we connected with the Social Media Victims Law Center. We met with a group of American families whose lives were forever changed by the online harms that ultimately created the tragic fates of their children. And in that first gathering, it was clear that for all of these families, meeting others who'd endured a similar experience was comforting, but more than that, it was unifying.
It's just awkward and weird and unbelievable. Again, the two of them are so unlikable. They are so unauthentic. Why they're getting this award is beyond me. So the award that Harry and Meghan picked up for that evening was the Humanitarians of the Year award brought on by the nonprofit Project Healthy Minds. Now, it said the couple is being honored by the nonprofit for their efforts to build a safer, more equitable online world for families and youth, in addition to their contributions to advance mental well-being worldwide. The Parents Network is a community for parents and caregivers whose children have been affected by social media harms, including families who have lost a child or whose children have experienced near-fatal harm due to dangers online. This is very, very similar to the work that William and Catherine are doing toward children, online safety, and mental health. In my opinion, they're always piggybacking off of the royals. They never have any actual ideas themselves. Now, in regards to Prince Harry's speech, the information and the gobbledygook he was talking about made absolutely no sense, and he has a lot of outdated information. A lot of these social media platforms already have child guards in place. They have teen accounts, children accounts, and they have a lot of resources for parents as well as parental controls. But it's ultimately up to the parents to know what their children are doing online, what they're accessing, and the amount of time that their children are spending on their phones and on social media. But these platforms have made huge strides to have child and teen safety. So the fact that Harry and Meghan are, launching these campaigns, it's like it's already happening. What exactly are you doing? Everything they do and say is very, very vague, and it doesn't get down to any real details. They just talk a lot of gobbledygook and a lot of common sense. Again, they don't make any sense, and none of their facts are real. And the fact that Megan's always trying to relate everything to her being a mom and Archie and Lily's ages, it's just weird. They don't provide any real information or any real help. Again, Meghan Markle just aligned herself with Chrissy Teigen for her cooking show as ever and aligned herself with Balenciaga for Paris Fashion Week. So do these two people deserve a humanitarian award for safeguarding children online when Meghan lines her pockets with $1 million to show up and support Balenciaga? When Meghan Markle has Chrissy Teigen on her cooking show who told a 17-year-old child to take a dirt nap. Let that sink in, folks. These are not humanitarians. And again, all of their ideas are just piggybacking off of already established charities. They don't do anything on their own, and they're mimicking what the royal family is doing. Again, these two are desperate nobodies who don't deserve awards, not even from the PTA or a bowling trophy. I think it's only a matter of time before Harry finds a way out. 2026, y'all, 2027, I predict it's going to be the end of the road for Harry and Meghan. What do y'all think? Do you believe that Harry's looking for a way out of this marriage? Do you believe there was huge fights behind the scenes after Paris Fashion Week? Or do you believe they're the loved up couple of Montecito? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you and hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.